Welcome to 100 Yards of Football this morning. We got an NFL Draft Prospect Special. We got a prospect coming into the studio live this morning with us. He's very special. The man has came out of nowhere. He might be the best offensive lineman coming into 2021 NFL Draft. I'm your host, Vincent Turner. So if you like the video this morning, sit back and enjoy because you're going to be on a magic carpet ride. Because I'm excited this morning because I'm ready to talk offensive line talk. Joining me, they interview this great lineman who I think is the best in the 2021 NFL Draft is my man. He was a scout with the New York Jets under Bill Belichick and Bill Parcells. He's got a book out, Whatever It Takes, the best seller on Amazon. And he was the last candidate for the GM job with the Cleveland Browns in 2017, Mr. Daniel Kelly. And the player that we bringing up today, he's from Wisconsin, Whitewater. And Lord have mercy, he went down to the Senior Bowl and he stole some money. He not eat down there. My man, Mr. Quinn Meinerz. So sit back and enjoy 100 yards of football this morning. Mr. Kelly, take it away this morning.
Absolutely. Well, welcome to the show, Quinn. It's so nice to meet you. I thought maybe we might catch you out in the woods working out this morning.
Yeah. Unfortunately, gotta kind of put that to rest a little bit. You know, you can only get so strong doing logs and stuff. So, but yeah, no, back in Whitewater, Wisconsin, and kind of excited to be back here after the a long like 9 weeks of training in Texas to get ready for combine pro day stuff. So I'm excited to be back home and get ready for fall camp and the upcoming draft. So yeah.
Absolutely. Our listeners, I think, are fascinated by the draft process. If you could, Quinn, kind of walk us through what you've been going through, what the last 8-9 weeks has looked like for you.
Yeah. So the last 8-9 weeks, I was in Frisco, Texas. I was training at Exos down there, just kind of, doing the standard, pre-combine, process. So, I mean, we're working out, 3 times a day down there. So, you get your breakfast, and then we had our lifting session, and then you get your protein shake, and then you have position work, and then you eat a little bit before then you have your running session. And, by the time you get back and you do a little bit of treatment and stuff like that, I get to the facility around 8:00, get back to your place till like 5. So, and that's every day. So it literally is like a 9 to 5 job every day. And, being a track athlete isn't the most fun when you're a 300+ pound person. So I'll definitely, speak for all the big guys out there. It was fun to meet everybody and everything like that. But trying to be a track athlete and being a sprinter, it hurts the body a little bit.
Yeah, I bet it does. No, it's awesome. I'll never forget when I was a kid, Quinn and Vince. When I was growing up, I watched this NFL films program called the NFL Crunch Course. I'm dating myself now, but it has a great video. And there was this part in there about the trenches. It said there's confines no bigger than a closet. The press never talks about it. Nobody ever writes about it. But the men who play there know who won or lost the game. So it's actually an honor and a privilege to have you on the show today, Quinn, to talk offensive line. You're a guy that's nicknamed the Gut. That's as good as it gets when it comes to offensive linemen. John Madden, the legendary John Madden, would have gone crazy to talk to you. And I feel really like we're talking to you this morning. I had this thought. I woke up in 2:00 in the morning thinking about you, ironically, for the show today. And I feel like we're talking with you the next great center in the National Football League. I think we're talking to somebody who could turn out to be the next Mike Webster, Jeff Bostic, Mark Stepnoski. And the position that you play, Quinn, is so vitally important because I remember, and I'm sure you do too, Vince, back in 1989 when Jimmy Johnson, took over the Dallas Cowboys, they drafted a young man by the name of Mark Stepnoski, and they drafted, and I learned growing up, you build your team right down the middle, and so the position you play is extremely important. So again, thank you for joining us this morning, Quinn. It's awesome having you on the show. You know, from the first moment I turned on the film, and it's kind of like as a scout, it's either it's love at first sight or it's not. and from the first moment I turned on the film with you, Quinn, I knew that you were somebody who's going to be special at the next level in the NFL. I went back and I watched all your Senior Bowl practice. I was blown away. I mean, you were handling top 90 rated prospects. And then that workout in the woods, that really captivated my attention. That was really different. I'm a guy who really appreciates different. That's how I got in the NFL myself, is by setting out a draft book, a 350-page book as my resume. So when I saw that struck me. I said, hey, this is really different. Tell our listeners, tell our audience, if you could, please, Quinn, tell us about that work on the woods. And if nobody's seen it or you haven't seen it, go on Google and Google Quinn Meinerz woods. You know, was it Canadian woods workout?
Canada workout. Yeah, it's Quinn Meinerz Canada workout. I have it uploaded to my YouTube channel. But yeah, so that workout video was actually getting ready for my 2019 season. I'm at Whitewater, so I've spent a lot of time up on that island up in Canada, and I wanted to, going into the 2019 season, I wanted to have a video to show my teammates in August kind of what I was doing to prepare for the season in the summer, just to kind of show, one, a funny video, two, something of how serious I am to get ready for the season. So yeah, I made that, cool little workout video and just explaining and showing what I was doing. And so yeah, in August showed it, and a lot of the guys loved it, enjoyed it. And now a lot of other people are getting a lot of enjoyment out of it. So it's cool to have everybody kind of watch it. I never anticipated, it getting to the point where a whole bunch of people were going to watch it. So it was intended just for my teammates, but it's cool to have that moment where everyone's kind of enjoying it and getting a good laugh out of it, because that's just what I enjoy doing.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I when I saw that, I said, look out, defensive lineman. This is a guy that can push over trees.
Yep.
So I like that. I mean, when I look at you on film as well, I mean, you're a guy that has NFC North written all over you. I hope the GMs with Minnesota, Green Bay, Detroit, and Chicago are watching your film, because, I mean, when you look up in the dictionary NFC North, I could clearly see you playing up there at Lambeau, playing in Green Bay. I could clearly see that. I mean, you're somebody who has, really nice size, just to kind of unpack what I saw on film, 6'3", 320, right?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, and you have a nice setup and base when you're dropping in the position. You sink your hips well. You have long arms, quick hands, and punch. That's something that really struck me at the Senior Bowl. Your quick hand work, and most importantly, Quinn, you're somebody, and this really stands out to me. You're somebody that has desire to play the game. Football is obviously important to you. You have the mentality and the attitude. You have the aggression. My nickname for you is Mr. Pancake. And we're doing a show here in the morning. So, yeah, absolutely. Because I love that. I mean, nothing gets me going more as a scout than when I see an offensive lineman just pancake a defensive lineman. I love that about you. I love your aggression level. I grew up watching the Washington Redskins with the Hogs back in the day with Joe Bugle. You strike me as that type of guy, a guy who's like a Mark Schlereth, a guy who's like a Joe Jacoby. I mean, what if you could tell us briefly, I mean, what was the experience like? Because like Mr. Turner said, you stepped out of nowhere into that Senior Bowl situation. What was that Senior Bowl experience like for you, sir?
Yeah, first off, I mean, I had just a blast. I had tons of fun. I think, on top of that, I think, there's a lot of emotions that were built up in that week, at least for me, because, without having a 2020 season, I really had to, I mean, first of all, I really hope I was going to get the Senior Bowl invite, and I didn't get that until late, because as the NFLPA game went down and the East-West Shrine game wasn't able to happen, I was like, wow, this is really going to be an uphill battle, even more so than it was. But, overall, had a ton of fun. And then to add on to that, I mean, I haven't played center before ever until the Senior Bowl. That was my first time ever playing center.
That's amazing.
So, you look at day one, it definitely looks a little raw at times and a little whatever, and I definitely have some brain mistakes. But overall, I think I improved a lot throughout the week. And, I tried to prepare as much as I could to make sure I was ready for my opportunity. And my opportunity was, all right, you're going to play center. And I got that text message notification the night before the first practice. So,
wow.
So, yeah, had a lot to kind of learned on the job a little bit, but I think I handled it really well, and I'm excited to kind of keep progressing through this center route because I think I can really be, a really solid center moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how I know too, before I turn it over to you, Mr. Turner, that's how I know that you're going to be great at the next level, because I mean, just alone to go from, not playing last year to, being at the school, you're at the great school that you played at, and stepping into a Senior Bowl atmosphere. I mean, you got kind of a late invite, like you said, and then to step into that environment, then at the last second, I mean, literally the last second, you're told you're playing a different position at center. I mean, this isn't like something you can just roll over and do for a lot of people. And I mean, you look the part. I mean, if somebody didn't tell me, I'd be like, wow, this guy's been playing center for a long time. I mean, it's, so I mean, that was super impressive. So way to go, Quinn, on your Senior Bowl performance. So Mr. Turner, I know you want to jump in. You have some questions for Quinn.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. Quinn Meinerz?
Doing great. It's
hey, because
up in Wisconsin finally, so I can't complain.
Yeah, they call me Mr. Football, so I'm a Southern boy. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and they call me the 901. So when I was looking at your film and I was studying the Senior Bowl, I got a nickname for you, John Rambo. I'm gonna call you John Rambo, the National Football League, Sylvester Stallone, because Mr. Rambo had 4 things that was very, very serious in the movies: a person that solved problems, dangerous situations alone, tough, nasty, raw, aggressive. Now I'm gonna go to the Senior Bowl. I have never heard of you, young man, but that first week, the first days, you showed me that Rambo mentality. I'm gonna go to some drills that you done. You took the food out of Patrick Jones' mouth on that one-on-one drill from Pittsburgh. I said, oh my God, who is this young man right here? Then in a drill, you put my man who played in the Big 12, Taquan Graham, on his butt, pancake. That's when I came a believer. See, down in the 901, we had a thing. I'm 60 years old. We used to play pickup football, and it'll be another guy come from another neighborhood. We don't know nothing about him. But he made his name known by how he performed on the field. You came down to the Senior Bowl, young man, out of Wisconsin, Whitewater, and you took some food off people's plates. You was the man. And then what impressed me, you broke your hand and did not stop one bit. So I got excited about you. Then I looked at you, you very athletic. You could dunk a basketball, young man. Then when I look at your film, I look at your overall profile, I'll go back to 2019 against St. John's. Oh my God, you was the best player on the field, Mr. Quinn Meinerz. You had I'm thinking 7 to 8 pancake blocks in that game. But most of all, I see you greatness, man. I see you as a guard, maybe center, but I'm gonna compare you to some greatness. Gene Hickerson, who's a great guy with the Cleveland Browns. You know who he blocked for? The great Jim Brown. Another guy you remind me of, Larry Little, who played with the Miami Dolphins. You know who he blocked for? Larry Zonka, Jim Kick, Mercury Morris. And since we've been talking about Mac Jones in our other video, University of Alabama, I wouldn't be surprised if you be a John Hanna, who played with the New England Patriots. Roll Tide, the block for Sam the Bam Cunningham out of USC. Then finally, when you look at the new age players, and I see a lot of this in your talent, Mr. Meinerz. I see you being a next Steve Hutchinson on the next level, a next Bruce Matthews, and a next my favorite player, because he played with my favorite team, Larry Allen, because you got that power. You got that dog. You got that work ethic. Now, my question to you, talk about your Senior Bowl experience, but I want to know one major question. You're from the state of Wisconsin, right?
Yes,
How in the world don't people in Madison, Wisconsin, at the University of Wisconsin, they had Brent Beamer and Barry Alvarez in that athletic department missed on you based on the fact they had Joe Thomas, Travis Frederick, Peter Kuntz, Rick Wagner, and Ryan Ramczyk that's all in the NFL. How did they miss on you? Now talk about your Senior Bowl experience and talk about the University of Wisconsin, how they missed on you.
Yeah, so like I was saying, the Senior Bowl experience was awesome, you know, and like I was saying, center was my first time ever doing that. I mean, there was a lot of first times that I was doing at the Senior Bowl. I'm not sure a lot of people know, but I've never passed set out of a 2-point stance before ever. I've only ever been in a 3-point stance. So that rep against Patrick Jones, one, I haven't played right guard in 3 years, and two, I've never passed set out of a 2-point before ever. So, and you know, for also other listeners, if they don't understand, right and left side is a whole different world. And so, you know, when you're looking at an offensive lineman, oh yeah, he's a right guard, just put him at left. That's you got your whole entire footwork is backwards and different and completely opposite. So, I mean, you have to be able to do it to play in the NFL now. But I mean, you got to respect that it is a little bit of a challenge. So, I was trying to do a lot of different things at the Senior Bowl, and I think I was able to show a lot of people. You know, the question that was against me was the level of competition. Obviously, coming from a Division III school in Wisconsin, I had to, you know, show a lot of different things. So I think that was my first mission, was to prove a lot of people wrong and a lot of people right, and show that I can handle the, you know, the Power 5 talent or whatever you want to call it. And so honestly, I'm asking the same question of why the Badgers never said anything to me. You know, if you look at the state of Wisconsin, I mean, it's either you go Division I or Division III. There's no Division II in Wisconsin. That's all out of state if you want to go Division II. So, I mean, most kids in the state of Wisconsin, if going through high school, want to go play for the Badgers. Like, that's kind of like the dream in Wisconsin, is to go play for the Badgers. But yeah, as far as Division I, even as a whole, no phone calls, no text messages, no one coming to the school. So yeah, I don't know what happened. But honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything, because it's all working out in the end anyways. So I'm happy with what happened.
And my final question to you, man, is that what I love about you, I'm not going to say is that you kept with your dream. You kept working hard. You believed in yourself. You came from a D3 school, and most of all, you missed the 2020 season. So that shows me you're a gentleman that can deal with adversity. You're a gentleman that believes in yourself. And most of all, I see greatness at the next level. And I want you to research all them linemen I told you: Gene Hickerson, Larry Little, and John Hanna. And you will see that the same traits that they have, you will have. And then Larry Allen, Steve Hutchinson, and my man, let me get him right, Bruce Matthews, 17-year vet who played center, guard, and tackle. You know his sons, Jake, that played with Texas A&M, and Clay Matthews. Jake is his son, Clay is his nephew. Young man, you got all the skill set. And thank you today for coming on 100 Yards of Football, because I'm now one of your biggest fans on the line of scrimmage. And boy, you very, very good. You attack. You're like an animal. And like I said, you went to the Senior Bowl. Nobody knew of you, not even me. And the first thing I see, you took a guy, Patrick Jones, who's been one of the best defensive ends on college football for the last 3 years, and you worked him. You took food off the plate. And you made your name known down there.
Yeah, I would like to comment on that. So, yeah, Patrick Jones, great friend of mine. You know, we both were doing something different right there that we never did before in that rep, if you look at it. You know, we had a limited amount of defensive tackles, and he had to move in and play defensive tackle, and I was playing right guard. So, yeah, I think, you know, I did the rep speaks for itself, but I definitely like giving context, you know, for people that are watching and listening. You know, he went to a whole new position. I went to a whole new position. So when you're looking at a defensive end and a tackle, there's a lot more time and, I don't know, a little more finesse you can display. But, you know, when you come into the interior, it's happening like that. Like it's either you win or you lose, like now. So, yeah, I think it was a fun rep, and it was good competition. I wish we would have been able to go at it a couple more times, because
I don't think he wanted no more of that. I don't think he didn't want no more of that fire. He didn't want no more of that.
Hey, Patrick loves that kind of stuff, so I know he was excited too. But yeah, thank you though.
Hey man, I want to say this: keep up the good work, stay focused, keep God number one, man. And I see greatness from you. I respect you highly because you came from a small school and you didn't even play in 2020. And you went to the Senior Bowl around the best of the best. And you made your name, young man. So keep eating in the neighborhood because I'm going to call you John Rambo of the 2021 NFL Draft. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
No, it's awesome. And I got a couple last questions for you, Quinn, and our listeners, I'm sure, want to know this stuff and kind of walk us through. I know you've been going through a lot of questions, a lot of Zoom calls from NFL teams and stuff. Just kind of walk us through what a play is like. A lot of people are always curious what it's like being inside your helmet, what's going through your mind. If you could take us into the huddle and just kind of just describe what the huddle's like, and then also what you're looking at and what you're experiencing coming up to the line of scrimmage and during the play.
Yeah, I'll kind of go through a Senior Bowl thing. So, my job as the center is kind of call the huddle and get everyone ready. And the huddle that we were doing was kind of a circle huddle. And, I think, I kind of took it as myself to make sure the huddle was clean. So, if a wide receiver was just kind of, trying to cheat a little bit and just kind of have his head in I was like, hey, let's go. Let's get this circle. Let's make this look clean, make it look right. And then, the quarterback is getting the radio, is getting radioed in the play. So, and then once he's in the huddle, everyone's quiet. You got to listen to what he's got to say. And then you kind of listen to the play, understand what, generally where you're going to have to go. And then as you're kind of jogging up to the ball, you're trying to figure out what defense you're going to be going against. Fortunately, at the Senior Bowl, it was only two defenses. It was an over front or an under front. So an over front, you have that 3 technique to the tight end. And then an under front, you have a shade or a 2-eye to that tight end side. So once that happens, you call up the mic, and that kind of sets where everyone's going to be going. And whether you have the double team, someone's pulling, or anything like that. So, and then on top of that, you're listening, you got to make sure you remember the snap count as you're pointing out the mic, calling out your double teams. And then you got to do that all within like 20 seconds or something or 25 seconds is the play clock. So you come from huddle to doing all those things, and you got to have the ball snapped within 20 seconds. So it's a lot, and it happens very quickly. But I think once if you have enough practice and enough whatever, it kind of just, you really just aren't thinking, and it's just happening, and you're just kind of flowing. I think that's when you play your best football.
Absolutely. That's a part of the game too. I think that a lot of people don't have a chance or they really see is what you're talking about is all the intricacies that go into playing the position. I know when I was with the Jets, they sent me into the defensive meeting with Coach Belichick, and I was sitting there. I mean, they lost me at hello. I mean, it's I played 1 year high school football, so I mean, but I was looking around the room, and there was guys from big programs looking around like, what's going on here? What are they talking about? So the mental part of the game is extremely important. Thank you for sharing that, Quinn. Let me ask you a question, Quinn, if I can. Where are you going to be on draft day?
Yeah, on draft day, I'm gonna stay at home in Hartford, Wisconsin, where I grew up. I'm gonna keep it small, and I'm just gonna be with my family and my girlfriend, and just kind of keep the the original circle that I had with me. Once this kind of once I started my journey, even at Whitewater football. So kind of keep it small, keep it the original people, and just enjoy the moment together.
Absolutely. So let's go there for a second. It's draft day, right, in the NFL. It's what you've been working towards. You're watching the draft, you're watching the commissioner, you're watching the picks, and then all of a sudden your phone rings. Tell us what that's going to be like for you.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot now recently, because now before the Senior Bowl, it was kind of hoping I get drafted. It was like, I'm seeing 7th round or undrafted. And then after since Senior Bowl, now it sounds like there's a lot more solidification happening here. Like, maybe even day 2 is going to happen. So when I hear that phone call, man, it's definitely going to make me cry right away, just because of how crazy it's going to be. Just because I still can't even fully comprehend the moment that's going to happen, just because, when I set out to go to Whitewater 4 years ago, my initial thoughts were like, hey, I got 4 more years to play football. So I set out on a goal to try to be the best football player I could be, but by the time I was done, and I guess it has earned me a couple more years of football, hopefully. So it's just going to be a surreal moment, and I'm really excited to share that, with the most important people around me, which is, my family and my girlfriend. So it's definitely going to be an emotional moment, and everything still hasn't like fully set in, like even the Senior Bowl stuff. Like I don't know. It's just like it's a lot of crazy stuff, and it's something I never kind of imagined would be happening right now. So it's just kind of like it is a dream come true. And when you're in that zone, you kind of feel like you're in a dream all the time.
Absolutely. I tell you what, I wish I was making that call to you as a GM for sure, because I mean, and I can tell you, I mean, when you're talking, Quinn, you're making me tear up because I know when I got the call from the Jets, to this day, when I tell that story, I tear up when I tell people. So I'm excited for you. You've earned it.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. I'm excited for you. And last question I have for you is maybe the most important question during our show. Tell our audience about a very special 11-year-old friend that you have.
Yeah, so I have a very special friend. She is from Hartford, Wisconsin, and so her dad was my offensive line coach in high school. And so her name is Elena Shelsta, and she suffers from a rare form of GLUT1, which, it doesn't allow, it's a certain protein that allows, sugar to get up into the brain. And, she's one of the, very few people in the world that has this. And so she's been going through a lot of struggles throughout the last, her entire life pretty much. So I wanted to use, the fame or the popularity that I've been gaining, from the Senior Bowl, because before the Senior Bowl, a lot of people didn't know who I was. So I grew up, I grew a lot through social media, and I wanted to find a way to, put I don't like attention. So I wanted to put the attention onto her and that family to help them. So I was selling shirts that the sales have since been closed. But there still is a GoFundMe page that you can go to and help donate to that family, because, they're an amazing family. Her mom is a PE teacher at the high school, and my offensive line coach. So they're just a special family. A lot of people care about them in Hartford, and anything can help, whether it just be a like or a share or anything. So I would really appreciate any of that, just to kind of one, maybe it's just educate yourself on what GLUT1 is, because there's people that have it, and it's a really rare thing, and it definitely is not fun to watch. And you wish those people could, live a normal life. Because I was telling, there's a funny story. So I was able to meet up with Elena once I got back from all the combine training stuff. And I was complaining to her. I was like, getting ready for the combine, it was all medical stuff this year. So they had to take like 9 vials of blood out just to kind of do all the tests. And I was telling her, I'm like, that sucked. And she was like, well, I do that like almost every week. And she goes, and I like it and I watch it. And I was like, I just can't. She's 14 now, but it's just to hear that, where she has to go through that all the time. And I was complaining about one day. So I think you got to be grateful for what you have, and her positivity is amazing.
Well, that's an amazing story. And share with our listeners, what is the GoFundMe page if anybody wants to help out there?
The GoFundMe page, I have all the links set up on all of my social media, whether it be on the Twitter or Instagram. But I don't have the direct link. I think it's through Hugs for Elena and the letter or the number 4. And yeah, so it's a special story for a special group of people that mean a lot to me.
Absolutely. It's an amazing story. And I know, and she's in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
So I know for a fact people in Wisconsin expect to see a young girl wearing a Quinn Meinerz jersey around town, with the NFL shield on the shirt for sure. That's an amazing story, and that's one of the things I love most about you too, Quinn. Is you're a dominant guy. You're an aggressive guy. You're a guy that can throw people around, big defensive lineman, but you also have an amazing heart that comes out right there. And that's how I know you're going to be a very special player in the National Football League. Like I said, Quinn, it's been an honor. It's been a privilege. And I can't wait to watch you. And I'll tell my friends at the sports bar, I'll be like, that's my guy right there who just put that defensive tackle on the ground. So thank you, sir.
Awesome. Yeah.
I really appreciate you. I'm excited for you. I mean, you play the game the way it's meant to be played.
Okay, you got that's in our interview today with Mr. Meinerz. I want to say this as we're going to kind of take off here 100 yards football. Young man, you special, man. I'm going to consider you John Rambo of the 2021 NFL draft. I see greatness in you. And I'm going to say it one more time. You can go back and look at this video, but go back and look at the game film of Gene Hickerson, who blocked for Jim Brown, Larry Little, who blocked for Larry Zonka, the late great Jim Kidd, Mercury Morris, and the great John Hanna, Roll Tide, University of Alabama. So I'm going to end 100 yards of football today. When I think about you, Quinn Meinerz, I think about that rock band out of England by the name of Def Leppard. And they had a song called Animal. You're going to be an animal at the next level. So if y'all like the video today, please come in and share it. We've had my man, Mr. Quinn Meinerz, on the show today, along with NFL draft scout, the man that knows it all, Mr. Daniel Kelly. Thank you, Mr. Meinerz. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Y'all have a blessed week here on 100 Yards of Football.
Thank you. Take care, Quinn.
Thank you.
Take care.
You guys too.
Okay.